We're live. We're back. Is the camera on me?
Is there any way to know?
You got to get close to the mic.
Who's the?
So we're going to talk about, is there any way to know what?
Is it like any way to
No,
know who the
you have
camera's
no
on?
idea.
Just
You have no
whoever's
idea.
talking?
Well, that's up to him.
Okay.
Anyways, we wanted to, since probably nobody's watching, thank goodness, we wanted to revisit and talk about how hard it was. And I'm curious,
On what?
I think it may possibly be that I could be a shitty host, which I expected to
No,
be. I kind of expected to be because it's my first time.
I mean, yeah, but it being bad isn't a bad thing. When you, in the future, and then you might actually start making good podcasts, you can go back and rewatch and be like, wow.
That's a good idea.
I was horrible, you know?
Well, that's why I do all my videos. I go back and
Yeah.
look at them and say, shit, I was terrible. And then I see where I'm at now. That's why I leave them all on YouTube. I want people to know how bad I sucked
yeah, where you
in the
came
beginning.
from, you know?
Yeah, it's really important.
I know what you
So,
mean.
like, I can tell you that was oddly hard to, okay, so we just did a podcast, in case you don't realize. I wouldn't call it a podcast. We attempted a live podcast, and we about had a meltdown, right?
Our
I
dogs
felt my
included.
anxiety get so high, right? My blood pressure was so high. I think this light's warm enough that it kind of hides it. But when your blood, okay, so what happened was, so it's cortisol, right? Don't
I'm
burp
so
into
sorry.
them. Sorry, just turn away. So it's cortisol gets released, right? And we talk about this a lot,
Yeah, I
right?
know
So,
what you mean.
well, you tell me. You tell me what. No. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Like, we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you can tell me about it. Like, I mean, I know if I repeat myself, you would get it, but do you remember anything about it and what the
About, like,
hormone is?
Cortisol? I know, like,
Cortisol- not
dopamine
cortisol.
and all that, but
Or cortisone? Cortisone is what they inject. Hold on. No, but what is cortisol?
I don't know.
What hormone is it?
I mean, I thought I knew, but every time, like, I get put on the spot, my brain
What do you
shuts down.
think?
I can't
Oh,
help
I
it.
know it's hard.
I
It's
can't
hard.
help it.
Well, what do you think it is? What does dopamine do?
Well, that's like chemical in your brain. Like, I wouldn't say joy, but like, or happiness. I don't really know what the right phrase is, but it's just like,
Well, you're right. You're right.
I don't know. Well,
Well, I'm glad
you'd
you didn't
word
re-
it way better than I
Well,
would.
it's they call it the reward.
I can say like, I can word everything how you do it, but like, not as good. Like
When you're
more
on the
not
spot.
as-
Yeah. Well, I've refined it, and these are things that I've researched. But anyways, so cortisol. You don't remember what we called it?
No.
Like it's called the stress hormone.
Oh yeah, right.
I mean, it's an amazing hormone, right? Or it's the stress. It's a chemical, but it's a hormone
Mm-hmm.
that gets released, and so it has many purposes. But in some cases, when you are experiencing what we experience, especially Adam, his brain shut down. So what did that mean? Like, in what way did it shut down?
I don't know.
What did the
I
cortisol
wasn't
do?
listening. I'm sorry.
Oh my
I
God!
was listening, but I just started thinking about something.
What was you thinking about?
I don't remember. I was
Let's see if
just,
I can get
I
back.
just zoned
You're
out
so
for a
full of
second.
shit. Look,
I was thinking about Adam for a second. But then
okay, tell me. What do you think? What do you think his problem was?
Well, I was just talking about like how he like kind of zoned out. And he got
Yeah.
scared.
Well,
I mean,
well, zoned out. Well, what is that? What do you think that is? Zoning out. Get the dog out of here.
I don't know. He just,
Okay, so it's
his body just like shut down.
well, they call it. So you know what fight or flight is, right? We've
Yeah.
talked about it, right? Do you know how it works?
No.
Fight or flight is when the brain shuts down, basically, and the body kind of takes over. Like, you're not in control in a
Right.
fight,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or in a car accident, right? Or when you fall, your body is doing everything on its own, and so it releases cortisol to shut down the brain. It's shutting down. I think it's actually the prefrontal cortex side. It separates the brain from where we process information, which is the prefrontal cortex,
Right.
and it severs that communication. So it doesn't let us, because we're so slow at processing information. We're ridiculously slow at it,
Mm-hmm.
and instinctively we're really fast. As a matter of fact, it's been measured that up to like 7 seconds we can grab something before we even know we should have grabbed it. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
really?
Oh yeah.
That's
So
cool.
instinctively you know the answer, like measured 7 seconds before you acknowledge you know the answer. So if you go with your gut, you got it. So that's instinct. Well, what cortisol does, it shuts down any processing ability, and you can't have a thought.
Right.
Yeah, that's why we say I can't think. I'm stressed, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, because we can't. We are trying. We need to remove ourselves from the situation, calm down, and then we can come back and then we can process the information. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So anyways, what we were experiencing was, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, this is not good. It doesn't matter what kind of fear it is, whether it's real, like real as in death or whatever, or just fear of an audience. It doesn't matter. Fear is fear. The brain doesn't know no difference. Once cortisol gets released, it says remove yourself from the place and move on. I think I'm rambling now. Does any of that make sense?
I mean, yeah, it all makes sense.
Have we? Well, we've
You're
talked
only
about it so
rambling
many
because
times.
I don't really know how to talk about it because I don't really understand it as much as you do. You know,
Hmm.
like I can't just pitch in and start talking about what you're talking about.
Yeah,
You know.
but you kind of understand it.
Yeah, I get it. I
Yeah.
mean, it makes sense what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember 1,000 times where that would make sense when people are freaking out. You know.
Yeah,
all
but
makes sense.
instinctively, well, and it isn't something you enjoy either. You don't really study it, right?
No.
It's just something.
I mean, it's just something that most of the things, like when we talk, I feel like I tune out, but I'll just be living my life, just going on with my day, you know, talking to people, and then something happens.
Hold on, did you
and
just
I
say you
remember.
tune out
Yeah. Well,
of
I
our
do.
conversations?
I don't, and I do. Well, it's not that I tuned out. I just don't remember most of it.
Oh,
But-
okay.
But it all
I'm
comes
okay
back
if
to
you
me.
did.
It all comes back to me like in a random time. Like I'll be at work talking to someone, or any situation happening. I'll be like, oh, I know exactly what's happening, or I
Yeah.
know what to tell them in the
Yeah.
situation. You know. But in the moment, like I can't tell you exactly what you just told me. But like
Yeah.
in 2 days, I can tell you exactly what cortisol will do. You know.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it means we're like you're not like unless you love it, it's not something you should dive into. You know what I mean? It's these are just interesting facts. But anyways, I'm just glad that we have a type of relationship that we can have these conversations. I think that's really cool. I never expected my first podcast would crumble and end up with you coming in
Right.
as my second and first guest.
I mean,
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
My kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we
And you're
might
not
find
even
something-
nervous.
Honestly, no, because what are they gonna do? Like
Who's they?
anyone that watches
There is nobody.
Exactly. So like, even if someone did come back and watch it,
Yeah.
like, and went to your YouTube channel, like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
I'm kind of proud
Thanks.
that. Well, I am. My kids want to get on a camera with me. You know how weird that is.
Well,
I think every kid thinks their dads are weird as shit.
no, I tell everyone I got the coolest.
Oh,
parents
I
in
know.
the world.
But I think every kid thinks their dad is the greatest. I know I
Yeah.
did.
Well, I mean, they're like brainwashed to think that.
Well, brainwashed is a harsh word.
Mm.
But I mean,
I don't know
I'm
any
not.
other words for
Yeah,
it.
it's okay. It's okay. Well, you're homeschooled. That explains a lot. I get what you're saying, though. I feel special that we've developed a friendship, a relationship out of trust and respect, and that I think it's really unusual that our relationship has evolved. It wasn't always this way, right? It changed over time. That you feel comfortable. Like, this was supposed to be me and Dakota doing this. I never thought you would feel comfortable getting in that seat. And you are.
Well,
and
I
I
just
think
know
it's
that
beautiful.
I'm not gonna be like. I just know like I'm not gonna have much to talk about. Is the thing. I
It's
mean,
okay. But you have, so far. What I'm trying to say is that we should be proud that we should be proud in the fact that we're able to have a conversation. You know how weird that
Right.
is for parents and kids to have conversations.
I mean, I'm kind of used to it, so I don't know, but I could assume
Oh,
how.
hell, most kids are tuned out the moment they're rah, 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 rah. That's all they hear because it's always preaching and this and that. You know, as kids, we were just preached to. Most kids are. So we've figured something out. Not just me. Like, we figured something out together to where there's just this trust. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. So I'm very proud of it.
I mean, yeah, you always explain yourself. I'm not just left. Would he do that to me? Like, you know. I know
Yeah,
why.
well, most parents say, "Why did you make me do that?"
Yeah.
You know, and I think I was like that a lot when I was a kid. I'd get pissed off at you guys when you didn't follow through. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was my fault. Anyways, I don't want to get into parent therapy and all that bullshit. You
Okay.
know? No, I really don't. I don't want to come across as like I got to figure it out. Obviously, I don't, do I?
I mean, I don't know.
Would I be having these conversations with you if we had it figured out?
I mean, no.
No, we're always learning. Anyways, and that's the whole point of this. We're here to learn.
Right.
Yep. I feel
good?
better. Yeah,
Really?
I feel much better. Much better.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, like my stomach kind of hurts, but like
From this.
I don't know if it's from like a little bit of anxiety, but I'm not scared. But I mean, I get embarrassed really easily, so you can like I can just do something like barely wrong, or someone can say mean nothing by it, but how they word it, and I'll like shut down and I feel sick to my stomach. I get embarrassed really easily, like even if I don't even do anything wrong, you know.
Well, I think
So like,
why?
I have no idea.
Well, let's think about it. I mean, that's the whole point of this podcast. That's the whole point of me turning it back on. Like we had a minor meltdown, right?
Yeah.
And I was ready to start pulling plugs. Like, oh shit, this was a mistake. But then I thought, no. The only reason I did shut it down was because I felt how uncomfortable Adam felt. Which is, dude, let me tell you,
it's normal.
I was just so glad it wasn't me because I thought it was going to be me having the meltdown.
Really?
Yeah. Well, once I started feeling, I mean, like I couldn't stop it. Like it was overwhelming. It was cortisol was just being pumped. And I could feel it coming up through my neck. The blood pressure came up. So, anyways, I felt it start to go away. And I said, okay, I got this. But I couldn't pull him out of it. Like it was too little too late.
Yeah, you could tell he was just kind of zoning out. Like he
Yeah.
could tell he didn't want to be there, you know?
No, and I don't blame him. You know, it's just something that we can't control. I got lucky that one of us were going to have a meltdown. I'm just glad it was him.
I mean, even he's a little lucky because most of the time you're the one mainly talking, so the camera's mostly on you.
No, not when Adam's around.
Oh, really?
Adam's around, I'm kind of.
When I'm around, you're doing all the talking.
I
I'm just
know
like,
that's a
yep.
problem. That's a problem.
I mean, I try to talk, but it's hard to match everything you're talking about. You talk about a lot of.
My back's itching. Hey, so since you said that
Said what?
about me usually doing the talking,
Yeah.
I don't want to forget what you said about shutting down. Right. So the whole point of this podcast, right, is to overcome that.
Okay.
Okay. So I asked you why, when you get embarrassed.
Well, it's not that when I get embarrassed. I just get embarrassed really easily. I always have my whole life. Like,
Why?
I have no idea.
But you got to know why. If you don't know why, how are you going to fix anything?
That's a good question.
Well, I mean, there are books that can tell you how to get out of that or what to do, but none of that matters
Yeah.
if you don't know why. Sorry. If you don't know why you're doing it to begin with, right? You got to know why. And so let's figure it out. Why do you think why? Because we've never talked about this. Not for you.
I'm just like, I guess I'm just like terrified of doing something wrong or messing up. Actually, I was thinking about it at work today because earlier, I made the simplest mistake. Like I creased this piece of film at the tent place, and it wasn't even all my fault. It was just the car was just whack. But I messed it up, and then they didn't even say anything like mean or bad. They're just like, you messed it up, basically. I don't remember what happened, but and then I just like my face got super red, and my stomach was killing me, and then I was like, oh my god, like I was like shaking, like I wasn't gonna cry, but you know when you get that feeling like I'm about to cry, like that happens to me all the time. And
do you know what that was?
No.
It's cortisol.
Oh yeah, I do know what that was.
Yeah. Why?
Well, I don't know. Well, I was thinking like that I'm super afraid of messing up. Well, I pictured you.
Put this a little bit closer, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Don't that's another thing. You apologize too much. My dad used to get on me all the time. I was always sorry. It's something that my dad did to me, and I do it to you.
I just do that out of habit.
Yeah, I know. It's my fault. I promise you, it's my
I
fault.
almost said it again, but
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was talking about.
Well, you were talking about the film messing up. You had a meltdown. Whose phone?
Mine. Sorry.
You were talking about having a mistake, making a mistake.
Oh yeah, and I thought about you for a second, and I was just like, because I was always afraid of messing up or doing something wrong. So like,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
it's my fault.
Yeah.
I messed up.
So if anything ever happens, I'm just terrified of messing up.
Yeah.
So every time I do mess up, I just have this rush of this horribleness go through me.
Yeah. Well, we got to fix that. And you don't even understand why. I'm not sure I do. I know that it was who I was. You know what I mean? I was a kid trying to raise kids, and I'm figuring it out as I go. So you guys are scared to disappoint. That's your biggest fear. Your biggest fear in life is disappointing someone else. And that's a problem. And you know what I mean? I suffered from it too. So it was passed on. Whether it was DNA or my habits, which I think it was more or less the mistakes I made as a parent. But we're growing. We're getting out of it. And it's normal. It really is normal. And it's okay as long as we recognize, oh, it's a fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to figure it out. Like, let's figure out, once you understand why you have these moments that you care so much about what they think about you, we can fix it.
Yeah.
It also means you're normal. Like these things
That's
should
true.
affect you,
Yeah.
but to what extent? Should it be to the point that you almost have them shut down? That's probably a little excessive, don't you think? Like it should make you feel like, fuck, I could have done better. Not, oh shit.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, every time I think to myself, like, it's really not that big a deal. Like, the world's not about to end over what just happened. So, like, I can't ruin my day over it. Like, if little things happen.
Are
like,
you trying to tell yourself that when it's happening?
Well, I was kind of think, like, what's the worst going to happen over this little thing that I did? Like, it's not going to ruin the world.
I think I always say they can't eat me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's yeah?
Whatever
You're
works.
Right. I don't have the answer. I would call it, so I think for me, when I started going to therapy, which I think is massively important, I went through therapists like most people do. I don't know what most people go through. Whatever. Like, you know what I mean? I went through it. I would learn all I could from the therapist and I'd move on to the next one. And that's how I ended up on this journey. It's like they didn't have much else to offer after a certain point. They didn't have the answers. They tried to tell me how to fix it or what to do.
Yeah.
And I realized, oh, that's not really the secret. I need to understand why I'm in this situation. I got to get, so root cause analysis, right? That's what I love, right? You hear me say it a lot. I think, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is that we're just lost, man.
Honestly, you're not wrong.
We're just lost. We're just trying to figure it out as we go. And I think it's only a failure when your mistake is like when you abandon fixing it, when you just give up.
When you give up, yeah.
Yeah. So this podcast was important to me to start back up. Let's fuck it. I don't even know what we're going to talk about. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Because if I would have just shut it down, tonight would have been a failure.
Yeah.
It wasn't Adam's fault. It was my fault. It was my fault. It was my podcast. Right? And I'm just grateful. I was literally going to get here and do it by myself with nobody. I was just going to freaking talk. But then you volunteered to sit down. That's kind of courageous of you.
Well, yeah. I'm just waiting on Garrett to cut a yard.
To what?
To cut a yard so I can come
He's
over.
cutting a yard?
Yeah, his dad's making him cut his yard for him.
Well, that's cool.
Out.
That's cool. Do you have to go get him?
I was going to ask you if I could.
I don't mind.
Okay, cool.
What time?
Whenever he texts me or calls me.
All right.
So I'm just chilling, killing some time.
Until then, can we think about the why?
Sure.
Why are you so worried? Damn, this is hard.
If I knew, I probably wouldn't be worried about anything.
Exactly.
So
that's why the importance of understanding why. If you can understand why, the how and the what just reveals itself. It's like, oh my God, that's so silly.
Mm-hmm.
And most time you know the answer, it just never kind of registers.
Yeah, I guess I'm just too afraid of failure, which I guess is I don't know if it's a bad or a good thing. It could go both ways. Depends how you look at it, I guess.
Yeah.
But
yeah, if that failure holds you back, it's definitely a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. If that fear holds you back, you're afraid of failure. It has. I think everything that's wrong with people is their upbringing, the way they were brought up, not a bully in school. Because if you're brought up right, you understand how to deal with the bully in school.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't blame the parent. Well, I do blame the parents because that was the problem. But I'm not upset with myself as a parent for the mistakes I made. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Right.
You didn't come with a manual.
Yeah.
There was no YouTube videos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just kind of did what worked. Oh shit, that kind of worked. You smack their hand, they don't touch it no more. It was primitive. It was I look at it now and I think, that's kind of weak. But I've evolved. I've learned a lot as a person. I think we only mess up as parents when we just don't try to get better.
Yeah. Or give up, pretty much.
But hearing you apologize all the time is an indication that there's a huge problem. You're always telling me sorry. And I know because my dad used to say, why do you say sorry all the time? Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I am a reflection of my father. Not that my father was a bad guy. He was my rock, right? He was my platform. But he made a tremendous amount of mistakes because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Right.
We were all just kind of lost. And I just wanted to, I think it's up to us to take what we learned from our parents, especially the important stuff, the values and stuff. That's what we need to keep. But the other stuff, we just like, they may have made a mistake there. Not that they're a bad person. People go through life blaming their parents. And huge mistake. If you blame someone else, you can never change it.
Right.
It's our fault now.
Yep.
It's my fault that I've done this to you. I had to understand why I did it, which was the way I was raised. Now it's up to you to figure out why you're doing it, and now you can change it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I can't fix it. You got to fix it.
Well, I'll try.
How?
I don't know. I'll figure it out somehow.
I really wanted to go down that rabbit hole.
Well, let's go for it. I don't know what to say though.
Why do you think you locked up today?
I don't know. It's just
you already said why. You said because you were worried. Let me get back to where you said. You said because. Go ahead.
It's not even that I know it's because I'm afraid. I just assume it's that because I don't know why else. Because I feel like growing up, I never wanted to do anything wrong, and maybe it just stuck with me. Yeah. That's the only thing I could think it could be.
It's important.
But I don't know. I never really think about it.
Well, I think you're right. What else could it have been?
That's what I'm thinking.
You're influenced by,
Yeah.
your upbringing. So that's good. So, okay. That's good. I don't know how to ask the next question, I think you guys worry too much. So I have this idea that I was telling people I don't even have to whip my kids. I've been saying that for a long time. I don't have to whip my kids no more. It was this idea. I was like, I ain't whipped y'all in forever. But I remember thinking, I don't have to.
Yeah.
And I thought that was weird. I thought, well, why? Why don't I whip them anymore? Why don't they need to be whipped? It's not that I was being lazy and I just quit. You didn't deserve it.
Right. Yeah.
So I started trying to figure out why. And obviously, because I evolved. Where was I going?
Well, yeah, we kind of started basing our family is like all based off respect and not punishment, which.
That's another conversation. Respect.
Yep.
Not giving it so much as having self-respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I was saying, why was I saying that? Like I didn't have to whip y'all. I was trying to figure out why. Damn it, where was I going with that? I was on something. Shit. It'll come back. What was we talking about before that?
Me. You were talking about me.
I think this show is so appropriately named Random.
Yeah. I mean.
Damn it. I've lost my train of thought. Dakota, do you know where I was going with that?
It was based off the respect thing and
No, but why I was excited that I didn't have to whip my kids anymore.
Well, you're you're talking about how we just didn't deserve it, but why didn't we deserve it?
What was we talking about before that? Maybe
about me being afraid of failure and being I said something about me just when I was younger I was too afraid to mess up anything,
Yep.
And maybe that made you think of something.
I jumped through another rabbit hole.
Yeah, I mean we kind of got off topic a little bit, and then
respect. You said it. You said our family has so much respect, and I didn't realize that. I was like, oh yeah. That's what I was ultimately trying to say. Like we went from a family of discipline to a family of respect. And that's ultimately what changed. I'd love to go into that, but that's that's deep. That's a whole conversation in itself.
Yeah.
Like what is respect? And yeah, I don't think I want to go down that one. But yeah, that's ultimately why we got to a point. Yeah, it was respect. I earned your respect. That's why you did not get spankings. But I earned it. Well, I earned it in a way that you would not, you wouldn't do these things because you knew the outcome. It's the reason why. Oh, I know what I was saying. Respect.
Yep.
I realized it was a dangerous thing. It could be. I realized I went from being a normal guy, normal dad, normal husband, whatever, that could get you guys to do whatever I needed you to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like do your chores, you do it. If you made a mistake, we'd address it. We had this rule. The only reason you can get a spanking,
It's
right?
for lying.
Lying. That
Yep.
was the only way you could ever get a spanking.
Yep. As long as we're honest.
Tell the
Not
truth.
even that there wouldn't be any consequences. They wouldn't be as bad as they
Yep.
could be. You know.
Yeah, you murder somebody, you need help getting rid of the body, I'd help you bury the body.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even ask. Just
I
tell me the
remember
truth.
you
Right?
saying that
Yeah, I used to
one.
say that. It was a joke, obviously, but
Yeah, but it gets a point across. You know.
yeah,
They
I
can
was
do
like,
anything
there's
for us.
nothing we can't get through as long as you tell the truth.
Yeah.
But anyways, we moved past that, and it got to where you guys respected me so much that you had a fear of disappointing me, and I realized this is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like that almost felt like brainwashing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys should not be worried about what I think, because if you do, then you're not going to be able to make your own mistakes, because you know me, it's all about making mistakes.
Yeah, that's
Anyways,
how you learn.
I feel like the pendulum swung too far, and I was like, oh shit, they're so worried about screwing up that they're never going to learn anything, because you only learn from your screw ups, right? So I'm trying to right that. You know, it went
Mhm.
too far one way. Anyways, I think that's why you worry so much when you make a mistake. Anyways, I
possibly.
think it's a problem, and it's something we got to figure out. We talk about that a lot, right? I've talked about that a lot. Like, I think you worry too much about what I think, and that's not good.
Yeah.
It holds you back. Anyways, I think that's as far as I want to go with that.
Cool.
Look, you've done great, man.
Thanks. Better than I thought I would do. Honestly, I thought I was gonna be here, freeze up, not do anything. But
You
I
did
mean,
great. I think Adam left.
I think he just went outside,
He
just go
did,
chill,
yeah. He did.
breathe a little bit.
He's
Because I
upset
can
with himself.
definitely feel like anxiety, especially like
It's hard.
yeah. But oh well, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You know.
Well, I love you. Thank you so much.
Love you too.
All right, man. You can, we'll call it a night. What do you think? Unless you want in here. Think we ought to get Landon. Think we ought to just go through all my boys in one night. I'm just proud that we were able to kind of, with so if I had to measure cortisol, right? So the level from 1 to 10, I'm feeling like a 3. So my brain's not really working good. You know what I
Really?
mean? Yeah, I don't feel.
It's definitely harder to think. So like I
That's
can
cortisol.
definitely see like
Yep.
how you guys were shutting down. Couldn't think of anything really interesting to talk about. Because when you guys normally talk, you're on it. You're talking about these incredible things, you know.
That's
And
just us.
they're
too.
really entertaining. But I mean, you get on the podcast and your brain's just shut down. You didn't know what to talk about. Adam couldn't even say anything right, you know. But
Yeah. Which is,
I mean, it's normal.
you know what? I'm glad it happened. I'm not at his expense. It's because it's normal.
Yeah, it's not like I mean, imagine. I'm sure Joe Rogan, he's great at podcasts, but I'm sure when he
Yeah.
first did it, he was like, "Turn off the camera." You know, same thing could happen. You know.
Yeah.
Not everyone's just not have no fears.
Well, actually, it probably was easier on him because there was no Joe Rogan.
That's true.
Right. So
Yeah.
nobody understood. I'm just talking. Like, I'm not the type of person that would go online. Like, I almost thought it was weird that I can't type in a chat.
Really?
I cannot type in a chat room.
Why?
I don't know.
I almost typed in the chat room if I could tell you because I don't want to walk in here, but carry on.
Isn't that weird, though? That I don't want to type in a chat?
But what's the reason why?
I don't know. It feels weird.
What's gonna happen?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, if I ever did,
I
would
guess
feel
everyone has
like,
their
it's
little
the reason
things.
why I'm really, like, uncomfortable about commenting on Facebook. Like, it's super weird, right? I'm just
I
trying to
guess
say that we're
you,
all
you think
fucking
they're gonna
weird.
care what you say.
Yes. I think if they didn't understand what I was trying to say,
That you might think they take it the wrong way. You might think you're not gonna word it right.
or they think I'm silly, I'm worried about.
I've definitely done that before. Like talking to someone, I'll
Yeah.
text them. I'll be like, "Did I word this right? Did I say it right? Are they gonna think I meant something else?" And I'll just erase it and not say anything. That's
Yeah.
definitely. I know what you mean.
Well, I think I like talking about these things because I think a lot of people struggle with this. So it's about being vulnerable. It's about talking about things that people don't talk about. Something as silly as typing in a chat, which is easy for most people.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure people, if they ever heard this, would be like, "That's stupid." You're right. It is to
Yeah.
you, but to me, it was a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Right? It's hard. This is hard for me. Other things are easy for me. Directing a music video, easy,
Yeah.
easy. 100 people could be there. No problem. I got that. That's where most people will have a meltdown. That's where I'm good. So I'm
Everyone's
trying to
different. I
say,
mean,
yeah. I'm trying to say that I guess I like talking about these things because fuck, man, it's what I'm scared of. Therefore, I want to do it. So it's actually a good thing that has happened because it showed our weaknesses. It showed that, oh fuck, man, we're not bulletproof. You know,
Really not.
we're still not there yet. It's actually exciting because I've realized I have more growth. He has more growth. You know, we can grow as a person.
Yeah, you'll be. I mean, at least you'll be more proud when you do it. Because if you did, it was perfect at it. You have nothing to be proud about.
What's the point in doing it?
Yeah, no fun in that. At least you see yourself progressing in life. You know,
Yeah.
you're getting over your fears.
Man, how old are you?
17.
I know. I just wanted you to say. Smart kid. All right.
Thanks.
I'm done.
Learn it from you.